Hello everyone, I'm Sukhbir Kaur, your English teacher. Dear students, today we are going to discuss the story Chief Seattle's Speech. It is an authentic text of Chief Seattle's Treaty Oration 1854. Dear students, this is considered as the true text of Chief Seattle's speech given in 1854. Chief Seattle's speech is an art of oratory, how he influenced his people as well as the white man. So, Chief Settle is a man of Squamish tribe. You can call them tribal people or red man. So, while giving his speech, he is very careful because he wants to influence his people by telling them that they don't need their land anymore. On the other hand, he wants to show the white people that they are not fearful. So let's begin with the very first line. Yonder sky that has wept tears of compassion upon my people for centuries untold, and which to us appears changeless and eternal, may change. So, pointing towards the sky, Chief Settle is saying that from last centuries, sky was having sympathetic touch for his people, but now things seem to change. Today is fair, tomorrow it may be overcast with clouds. It seems that everything is fine today, but tomorrow things may change for them. My words are like the stars that never change. Very powerfully, he is saying that my words are not going to change. They are like the stars, as stars do not change their position. Similarly, his words are not going to be changed. Whatever Seattle says, the great chief at Washington can rely upon with as much certainty as he can upon the return of the sun or the seasons. So now he is saying that George Washington can rely upon his words like as one is confident that sun is going to rise, seasons are going to come. Similarly, his words are not going to change, right? So Chief Seattle says to George Washington that he can confidently rely upon his words. The white chief says that Big Chief at Washington sends us greetings of friendship and goodwill. This is kind of him, for we know he has little need of friendship in return. So here, White Chief tells that Big Chief has sent the greetings of friendship and goodwill for the red man. And Chief Seattle says that we know this thing very well, that they don't need their friendship anymore. But this is an act of kindness. If they had sent us the greetings of friendship and goodwill, it is an act of kindness from their side. His people are many, they are like the grass that covers vast prairies. So he says, his people of George Washington are many. They are like the grass that covers the vast areas of grassland. My people are few. On the other hand, Chief Seattle says that his people are few. They resemble the scattering trees of storm-swept plain. So, his people are few. They are like the trees which have survived the storm. Only the few trees which are left after facing the storm. The great and I presume good white chief sends us word that he wishes to buy our land but is willing to allow us enough to live comfortably. So he says, the great and I believe that white chief has sent us a word that he wants to buy our land, but on one condition, that he is going to allow us to live comfortably there. This indeed appears just, even generous, for the red man has no longer has rights that he need respect, and the offer may be wise. So bache, it seems a good offer for the red man. Chief Seattle says this thing, that it seems to be a good offer because red men are not in the condition to to deserve respect, and the offer is a wise one, as we no longer in need of an extensive country, because the numbering of red man is very less and they don't need a large area, so they are not in the need of an extensive country. There was a time when our people covered the land as the waves of a wind ruffled sea cover its shell paved floor, but the time long since passed away with the greatness of tribes that are now but a mournful memory. So, Chief Seattle says that there was a time when the numbering of his people was in a large number, right? They were like the waves of the sea which cover a large area. Means his people were in large number, but that was a thing of past. Now it is a sad memory. I will not dwell on, nor mourn over our untimely decay, nor reproach my pale faced brothers with hastening it, as we too may have been somewhat to blame. So, dear students, Chief Seattle says that he will not think a lot about the things that had happened in the past, nor he is going to grieve over their untimely decay, that why it had happened. Neither he is blaming his pale faced brothers, but he is blaming himself as well as the red man for the loss. If their numbering has been reduced, they themselves are responsible. So, next paragraph. Youth is impulsive. When a young man grow angry at some real or imaginary wrong and disfigure their faces with black paint, it denotes that their hearts are black. So, here he is talking about the youngsters, how they reacted in the past. Youth is impulsive. Youngsters don't listen to anyone. In the past, they acted suddenly. When our young men grow angry, whenever they become aggressive at some real cause or an assumed wrong, they paint their faces with black color, and it shows that their hearts are black, means that their hearts are cruel, and that they are often cruel and relentless, and our old men and old women are unable to restrain them. And in that situation, even old men and women were not able to stop them from doing such an act. Thus, it has ever been, thus, it was when the white man began to push our forefathers ever westwards. So, it took place when white man began to push their forefathers towards westwards. But let us hope that the hostilities between us may never return. So, here Chief Seattle is hoping that unfriendliness should never come again in their life. We would have everything to lose and nothing to gain. So, here he is trying to make his people understand that they have everything to lose and nothing to gain. Revenge by a young man is considered gain even at the cost of their own lives. So, here he is saying that young man don't think about the loss. They just even can give their life in order to take the revenge. But old men who stay at home in times of war and mothers who have sons to lose know better. Even youngsters are ready to give their life for the sake of revenge, but the people who stay at home, they know the pain of loss as well as separation. So, my dear students, in the above 3 paragraphs, in a very beautiful manner, Chief Seattle had addressed his people, telling them that they are responsible. If their numbering is less in the present, they themselves are responsible for each and everything. So, my dear students, with the next paragraph, we will continue in the next class. Thank you.